In the previous video, we discussed about what SIE is. In this video, we are going to run the detailed test in the CPU mode using Superlinked Inference Engine. Let's get started. Okay, let's go ahead and test SIE in CPU-based environment. For this, I'm going to run the test in my personal machine, which contains 16 GB of RAM. As the first step, we need to start the SIE server. There are two different ways by which you can do it. Either you can install SIE server Python package and start it using the command. The other way is to start the inference engine using the Docker command. As I'm going to test this in a Windows-based setup, I'm going to use the Docker command. So let's go ahead and run the Docker command. So here is the Docker image of SIE server, and we are going to run this in 88. Let's go ahead and start this. I have already downloaded this Docker image, and hence the API is instantly getting loaded. As we see, we have the unified API running in our local machine, the port 8080. Now we can use the same port or same endpoint for three different tasks. One is encode, second is extract, third one is reranking. In this particular video, we are going to test the performance of SIE with embedding models. The Docker service is up and running. Just to ensure that everything is good, here you can see that the health API is getting called, but we can test this by opening a browser, go to localhost host:8080 /readyz, and if you see OK as the response, that means the SIE server is up and running. The next step is to use the client. It's very simple. We have to install the SIE client. To do that, we can use the pip package, pip install SIE SDK. It will install the SIE client, and then import the SIE client from SIE SDK, and then initialize the unified API address. In our case, we are running it localhost. Once you have the client, you can use any of these models, be it embedding based model, or if you want to use a reranking model or extraction model. All you have to do is to specify the model name when you are going to perform the encode process or extract process, whatever it is. And you pass in your data as such, and it's going to automatically identify what type of model it is, perform that, and then return the response back. So in order to test this workflow, we need a data set, right? I'm using the ArXiv dataset. I have already downloaded this dataset. You can download it using kaggleHub.dataset download. Once you have downloaded this particular dataset, we set up number of documents, basically to test fewer number of documents because the dataset is really huge. And then you will load all these documents. For instance, imagine that you're going to load only first 1,000 documents from this. And then once you have loaded, the idea is to generate embeddings for these abstracts. For that, we have embedding abstract method. In this case, our model name is the sentence transformer model. Once we get the response back, we are going to stack everything and return the embeddings, right? And in order to verify whether this particular setup is working efficiently, we also have equivalent script without SIE. So we have the same sentence transformer model, but the only difference in this case is that we are going to generate embeddings using the sentence transformer class itself. Instead of using SIE engine, we are going to just load the model, get all the necessary abstracts, and then generate the batches, and then perform encoding and save all the embeddings and return back. So let's try to run both these setups using 1,000 documents with the same batch size. In this case, I'm running with batch size 2 because because I'm running in a CPU load. I'm going to run this test with the native implementation, which is by invoking sentence transformer embeddings.py. And for this, we are going to run in CPU mode with the same number of documents and the same batch size. Let's wait for the model to get loaded. Okay, here it has started to generate the embeddings. Okay, it's done. We can see that we have the embeddings of shape 1,000 cross 384 is the dimension. And here's the model name. It is running the CPU mode. And it took around a minute to complete, right? So let's, as the next step, let's go ahead and run SIE embeddings and compare the performance of the SIE system, right? For the same model. Now I'm going to run SIE embeddings.py. It has the same number of documents, 1,000 documents with a batch size of 2. I'm going to run in my local host in CPU machine, right? Let's go ahead and run this. Okay, here we can see that the inference is already started and it has started to embed the articles. Let's wait for the completion. Okay, it is done. Now we see the same 1,000 cross 384, where 384 is the dimension, the same model, and it took around 8 seconds to complete, right? The performance is more or less similar, right? Just to compare the performance between the API-based implementation and also the native implementation, just to see if there is not a huge delay between these two implementations. Of course, everything is running in my local machine, but the point here is sophistication, right? For performing this particular setup, all I had to do was to run a Docker command, and the inference service was started, and I can directly consume this localhost 8080 with any of the model. And now imagine that I have to test this script with some other model. All I have to do is to just change this model name, right? I don't have to change any other parameter as such. I just have to change the model name, and be it sentence transformer or be it any other model, it's going to work, right? So that's the kind of sophistication that you have it with SIE as such. Okay. For example, you can go to SIE and then click on the list of models. As you see, you have a lot of models, and filter it based on income. And you see these are the list of models which you can use for generating embeddings. You can pick any of these models and then just do a plug and play and change the model name and run the inference as such without changing much in your inference code. Just a quick recap of this particular video. We discussed about what is SIE and how we can use SIE in the CPU mode. For that, we started the SIE server using Docker, and then we created a simple inference script with SIE based inference and just the native implementation. And then we compared the performance of these two setups in the CPU mode. I hope this video was helpful. Let's go ahead and do the next round of tests in GPU mode. For that, let's switch this test into a different environment where we have the GPU infrastructure. See you soon in the next video.